The sun hung heavy over the sleepy stretch of Darnell County, Virginia, where time itself seemed to drag through the syrupy air. It was one of those Thursdays that barely moved, where even the breeze seemed to stop for a nap. Major General Franklin Rhodes had just finished lunch with a longtime colleague from Fort Beauregard, his step slow but steady as he made his way toward the Fillmore Gas and Go Off I-85. At 68, Rhodes carried himself with the quiet weight of a man who had led in both battle and bureaucracy. A career soldier, a four-star general, and an advisor to three administrations, he wore no medals today. Just a navy blue polo tucked into khaki trousers, loafers that had seen better days, and the quiet dignity of someone who had nothing left to prove. He was driving a beige Nissan Altima, a forgettable rental, chosen specifically for its ability to attract no attention. He didn't want to be recognized, didn't expect to be questioned, and certainly didn't anticipate that within minutes of pulling into that gas station, his name would ricochet across the halls of the Pentagon. Rhodes stepped out and reached for the fuel nozzle, glancing briefly at a patrol cruiser slowing down as it passed the station's entrance. His instincts stirred, not with fear but awareness. The cruiser turned around and parked across the lot, engine idling, its two white occupants staring. Rhodes kept pumping the gas, calm, but in his gut, he knew something was coming. The driver's door opened. Officer Blaine Kessler, built like a linebacker with a buzz cut and mirrored sunglasses, emerged with a hand resting loosely on his duty belt. A step behind him came Officer Trevor Langdon, thinner, twitchier, and trying too hard to seem in control. "Sir," Kessler said, approaching with deliberate slowness. "Can I ask you to step away from the vehicle?" Rhodes looked up, his voice as composed as ever. "Is something wrong, officer? We got a call about a suspicious vehicle. Beige sedan. Matches yours." Rhodes raised a single brow. "At a gas station? Hardly unusual." Langdon added, "It's not just the car. It's the individual description." Rhodes didn't flinch. "I'm Major General Franklin Rhodes, retired. United States Army. I just left Fort Beauregard. I can show you my ID." He moved carefully, pulled his wallet from his pocket, and revealed his military identification and federal travel documents. Kessler didn't even glance down. "I need you to step to the side of the vehicle. You have my identification. You can call this in. It'll take less than a minute." Langdon looked uncertain, glancing to his partner for instruction. Kessler was unmoved. "We're not doing this here. Step away from the vehicle." Rhodes sighed, not in fear, but in disappointment. His phone buzzed, a secure line, a scheduled briefing with Defense Coordination. He answered, turned on speaker mode. "Major General Rhodes, confirming identity," he said crisply. "Stand by for transmission." Kessler's tone hardened. "That's it. Hands on the car." "You're making a mistake," Rhodes said, still calm. Langdon moved fast, cuffs already in hand. "We're not asking again." And just like that, it happened. They grabbed him, gently, perhaps by their standards, but with all the presumption of authority gone unchecked. They shoved him against the car, twisting his shoulder, securing the cuffs tighter than necessary. The phone fell, still connected, the voice on the other end repeating, "General Rhodes? Do you copy?" Langdon ignored it. Kessler acted like he couldn't hear it. "You're being detained," Kessler muttered. "For what?" Rhodes asked quietly. "Being black at pump number 4? Kessler said nothing. Rhodes was pulled toward their cruiser. His shoulders ached. He said nothing more. Miles away, in Washington, D.C., Lieutenant Commander Natalie Fry sat in a secure room in the Pentagon when Rhodes's voice cut out. "General Rhodes? Are you there?" she asked, leaning in. She heard a scuffle, a man's voice barking orders, another voice, Rhodes's, calm but clipped. Fry didn't hang up. She hit the emergency channel and called her superior. "I think General Rhodes is in trouble. We're still live on the call." Colonel Harrison Merritt answered in seconds. "Trace the call. Pull his coordinates. Already pinged. Somewhere near Route 460, Fillmore Gas, and go. Get the Virginia State Police." Now, back at the station, Rhodes sat silently in the cruiser's back seat, wrists throbbing. He didn't look at his captors. He stared straight ahead. Jada Pollard, a college student sitting in her parked car nearby, had filmed the entire incident. The video, "Cops Arrest Elderly Black Man Who Says He's a General," was already on social media. It had 1,000 retweets in an hour. A.T. County Dispatch, a call came through. "This is Colonel Harrison Merritt from the Pentagon. We have reason to believe you are detaining a retired four-star general. Is this correct?" The dispatcher stammered. Sheriff Gregory Swinton was pulled out of a meeting. Within minutes, orders came down from the top. "Release him. Now." But at the station, time dragged. Langdon fidgeted. "Sir, that ID you showed us, it's real, isn't it?" Rhodes finally looked at him. "You want to ask that now?" Langdon turned to Kessler. "We need to let him go." Kessler resisted. "We followed protocol." "No," Langdon said. "You followed your prejudice." Just then, a black SUV sped into the lot. Two federal agents stepped out, badges in hand. "Who's in charge?" one asked. Kessler stepped forward. "I am." "You've got a federal problem. That man is Major General Franklin Rhodes." They opened the cruiser. Rhodes stepped out slowly. His wrists were raw, but his voice was steady. "I gave you my name." Kessler had no answer. Within hours, news outlets had the footage. National networks ran the story all day. Civil rights groups issued statements. Veterans organizations were livid. Rhodes didn't go on television. He didn't give interviews. Not right away. He went back to his hotel room and stared at his bruised wrists. By morning, Virginia's governor had been briefed. The Pentagon issued an inquiry. The sheriff fumbled a public apology. Procedural breakdown. He called IT in. 01 bought it. Kessler and Langdon were placed on administrative leave. Langdon crumbled under questioning. He admitted Rhodes had shown ID. Admitted Rhodes had been calm. Said he had doubted his own partner's judgment, but felt too afraid to speak up. Rhodes still hadn't said a word to the press. He visited the local VA instead. No cameras. No announcement. When the county board held a hearing, one supervisor said, "This isn't about bad apples. This is about a tree that needs pruning." Langdon watched from home, guilt etched into his face. He typed a note on his phone. "I'm sorry. I should have stopped it. I knew better." He didn't send it. Not yet. That weekend, Rhodes stood before microphones on the steps of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. He wore no uniform, just a simple jacket. "I've spent my life serving this country," he began. "I've worn its uniform, defended its ideals, but at a gas station, I was reduced to a threat. Not because of what I did, but because of what I look like." His voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. This is not about ego. It's about humanity. It's about ensuring no one has to list their resume just to be seen. Back in Darnell County, change came slowly. Training protocols were updated. Bias training implemented. Officers had to verify military ID on the spot. Langdon resigned quietly. Kessler fought his suspension, but the footage had done the talking. Rhodes went back to his true calling, mentorship. He spoke to recruits about seeing people, not uniforms, not skin, not assumptions. Just people. 6 months later, he recorded one last message. "When I was young, my grandfather said, 'One day you'll wear something that tells the world who you are. But watch how they treat you when you take it off.'" He paused, staring into the camera. "It shouldn't take stars on your collar to be treated like a human being." The video was shared across departments, classrooms, precincts. And when people spoke about Major General Franklin Rhodes, it was no longer just about his rank or battles fought overseas. It was about a man who reminded a nation what dignity looks like when no one's watching, and what justice sounds like when someone finally speaks.